So today's video is about changing the discs and the brake pads on my Fiat Fullback. So here's the Fiat Fullback, and here's the problem. So first indications were grinding noise, sounded like it was coming from the front left, and sure enough you can tell here that it's ground right down to the metal. There's no meat on the disc pad itself. Compare it with the other side. There's a lot of meat on that side. Here's the disc that came off. Doesn't look too bad on this side. Flip it over and you can see the real extent of the damage. And so the best thing to do, change it for new discs, new pads. So in order to get the disc off, you've got to undo two nuts. There's one there and there's one at the top here. I'll just get the disc out of the way. So once you've done that, the brake caliper comes away. You don't need to disconnect the rubber hose, because if you did that you'd have to bleed the brakes again, but just be careful you don't over tension it. Once you've done that, the disc comes straight off. That one needed quite a bit of hammering to get off. So there's a bolt that goes in the top, bolt that goes in the bottom. Undo those two, caliper comes away. Once the caliper's away, the wheel hub will come off. So the way we do that is take the wheel off. The hub just comes straight off. So I've just put the disc back on again to show you. All you needed to do is take off the 6 nuts. Now it did require quite a bit of hammering. And then it just comes straight off. So the reason it needed hammering is because of the rust that had accumulated behind here. So in order to prevent the new one from rusting on, I've put some copper grease there. So the piston and the caliper needs to be pushed back so that the brake discs sit far enough back to go around the wheel hub. And the way I did that is I used my clamp here, a bar to sit across the piston, position that to give you something to push on. Once that's in place, so the bar straddles the piston itself, the back end of it pushes on a solid part of the caliper itself, and then you just screw that until the caliper is pushed back in, until the piston is pushed back in. So I've got the caliper on the disc, and the top tip here is you need to push the piston back as far as it will go, because you can see there's not very much space between the caliper edges. And I've got one of the bolts in there. I'll put the bottom one in first because that's the one I can see more clearly, and the top one's got to go just there. So I've got to move the caliper into place now, and it should be located because the bottom bolt is in. So another top tip here was I put 2 of the wheel nuts on the disc to hold it in place while I was working with the caliper. So the final part is to put the wheel on.